NBA Youngboy. Did y'all know that NBA Youngboy was arrested for fraud? I visited Salt Lake City, right? And I went out there to see a friend, a very, 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 very significant friend. Actually, me and Rita both had went out to Salt Lake City. And when we landed in Salt Lake City and we was hanging out with our rich friends, man, listen, Salt Lake City has some of the most beautiful views, gorgeous views as far as of the mountains and stuff like that. Very, very nice place. Everybody is friendly. Airport is beautiful. Salt Lake City has one of the greatest environments and most conducive environments that I've ever experienced. It was a really great time over in Salt Lake. And when I got over there and I was talking to my really, really rich friend, what was this, last year or the year before, Rita? Might have been last year. Might have been the year before, actually. I don't know. But anyways, we was in Salt Lake City. And they said, hey, NBA Youngboy is my neighbor. Would you like for me to try to contact him in order to get an interview? And I was like, nah. And one of the reasons I said nah is because it was impromptu. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to barge in and take advantage of, my connection to this person. I just so happened to know that person. And it was unscheduled. You know what I'm saying? And so I just kind of don't do business that way. And I probably should have and took advantage of the moment. However, I was trying to be courteous. I was trying to be professional. And so I turned down my friend's offer to reach out to their friend that could then reach out to NBA Youngboy and possibly do an interview. Now, I didn't know a whole lot about NBA Youngboy at the moment, but I realized that after I got home, I started doing a little bit of research on him because Charleston White had been talking about him on my platform. And when Charleston White said something and I clipped it up, it wound up doing like 1 million views just like that. I said, is NBA Youngboy that popular? Is NBA Youngboy that popular? And it was like, yeah. And then I started rethinking my decision. I was like, man, I should have probably tried to wing that one. You know what I'm saying? However, neither here nor there. Lost opportunity. Not saying that he would ever agree to it in the first place, but it was definitely a lost opportunity. But I say all that to say this. That's my history and my understanding of NBA Youngboy to an extent. And recently, NBA Youngboy on house arrest, dropping album after album after album after album, has been arrested again. And you won't believe why this time. Trying to stay out of the news, trying to stay focused, on house arrest, doing what he do, and then he wound up getting arrested again. This is why.
New information tonight after singer and rapper NBA Youngboy faces dozens of charges.
As we have reported, Mark, that he was taken into custody in Cache County, accused of organizing fraudulent drug prescriptions at Utah pharmacies, legally known as Kentrell Galden. He's been on house arrest in Utah since 2021. Ariel Harrison live tonight after speaking with one of those targeted businesses. Ariel.
Yeah, well, one pharmacist I spoke with said they thankfully didn't fulfill that order as they noticed some red flags. But unfortunately, others weren't so lucky. Now, tonight.
Do y'all see the headlines right there as they add the context? That boy facing 60 different charges. Let me tell y'all something. They not messing around no more. Nobody is playing games. When you do a crime now, unless you're an immigrant or a legal immigrant that come into this country, you going under the jail. If you have any visibility, if you got any money, if you can get convicted in the court of public opinion, if they can throw a charge at you, they throwing the book. They are throwing everything. 60. They threw more charges at that boy than Trump. 60. They not playing no games. Listen, y'all. Don't cross and do a jaywalk. Don't do no fraud. Don't try stealing. They are about to start making an example out of y'all, boy, especially if you live in a conservative town like Salt Lake City. They not messing around. They are absolutely positively going to throw everything at you. Everything. 60.
The young celebrity who already had a criminal history now faces more than 60 related charges to this alleged scheme. Pharmacy owner Eric Stewart says hearing news of an arrest in the fraud ring investigation involving his business was a relief.
I'm just happy that they were able to connect the dots.
Last September, Stewart says his team at Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram got a call from someone claiming to be a doctor needing to fill a prescription, something he called the first red flag.
Usually don't get a doctor calling in a cough syrup themselves. That'll be like a nurse or something. But then just their medical terminology was off, the quantities, the way they pronounced the things. Everything was suspicious.
Like Stewart's case, arrest documents reveal multiple other pharmacies across Utah were targeted too. According to investigators, callers linked to Youngboy would call in prescriptions using the name of a real doctor in Provo in some cases, but giving fake patient information. Individuals would then pick up the order from pharmacies, mainly promethazine and codeine.
These type of medications they're trying to get are regulated. So throwing a chink in the process can really disrupt potential opportunities to get the medication you actually need.
Somebody said Youngboy beat his Fed case, now they trying again. So is it they that's trying, or is it bad habits? Come on, man, listen, I know y'all like these people, but we got to be objective so that we can get to the understanding or have some level of understanding as to how we're supposed to move, and then hopefully influence other people in a positive way. We got to change our mindset. Promethazine, codeine, yo, listen, this is the stuff that people rap about all the time. These people be high, they be messed up, and your bad habits and the people that surround you is getting you jammed up. Your addictions and your bad habits often at times lead to the worst possible consequences for you. And it's playing out right before our eyes. Now you facing 60 charges because nobody around you was like, hey man, we shouldn't be calling in the pharmacies getting promethazine and codeine. We should probably stop, or man, we got to kick this habit because, man, we going to go to jail. This is a Fed. This is a Fed charge. This is a Fed charge. And I'm not saying that they did it because I believe in innocent until proven guilty, and so they got to prove it in a court of law. But somebody got to be around you and say, hey man, nah, bro, I mean, we probably shouldn't be calling into the pharmacy acting like doctors and we lean addicts in order to try to get some more promethazine and codeine. How long could this possibly last? This ain't got nothing to do with they trying. It got everything to do with the pharmacists. All of the pharmacists was all around like, hey man, it's a suspicious activity over here. People is calling in and saying that they're a doctor and ordering this stuff in. Come on, bro.
Weber County Sheriff's teams helped take Galden into custody with federal partners just yesterday.
We believe this to be several more months of work for us.
Efforts local business owners like Stewart appreciate.
But when it's on a bigger scale like this, it's more concerning, right? Because they're pretty persistent, and it's just a big disruption to us, and it's just a headache for us to have to deal with.
Now the 24-year-old rapper is booked at the Cache County Jail, facing 63 different charges related to this, including having a dangerous weapon as a restricted person. Reporting live, Ariel Harrison, KUTV2 News.
Crazy, bro. Let me see if I can mine out a little bit more information as a result of this.
Rapper NBA Youngboy is not in a great place right now after just being arrested on a slew of new charges, including identity fraud, all while he's on house arrest in Utah on other charges. We're going to talk about what is going on here with attorney and hip-hop legal expert Afi Patterson. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm got a lot of hip-hop stories here on Sidebar, and now we got another one for you that actually might have a connection to one of our bigger trials that we covered. I'm talking about rapper Youngboy, Never Broke Again, or NBA Youngboy. Well, he has just found himself in a lot of hot water after he was arrested out in Utah. The artist, whose real name is Kentrell Galden, has been booked into the Cache County Jail on a number of charges. In fact, according to jail records, the listed charges are pattern of unlawful activity, procuring or attempting to procure drug prescriptions, identity fraud, forgery, possession of other controlled substances, possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person. Now, KUTV2 News.
Listen to these charges, bro. Pattern of I didn't even know that was a charge. Pattern of unlawful activity. What kind of charge is that? Procuring or attempting to procure drugs and prescriptions. Okay. Identity fraud, that's you calling and acting like you somebody else. Forgery, you went in there and signed it. Possession of other controlled substances, so you got more than just that one drug. Possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person, you ain't supposed to have pistols in your crib. Jesus Christ.
Possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person. Now, KUTV2 News out in Utah, remember Brian Schnee? Talked a lot with him and his associates during the Ruby Frankie case. Well, they have reported that Youngboy is actually looking at potentially 63 formal charges. This according to an arrest affidavit. And according to this arrest affidavit, this is pursuant to, quote, a large-scale prescription fraud ring.
Listen, bro, it's just not worth it. For all of y'all that think that it's easier to take the shortcut or you don't want to kick the habit, it's just not worth it, man. It really ain't worth it. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter what your status is. It's the risk is just not worth it. We already got enough that we trying to fight in a general sense, and that they wanna take more than they should when it comes to taxes. And you got to deal with stuff on a regular basis. You don't need to add to that. You don't need that type of headache. And we trying to live a long time, and we trying to have a great life. You know what I'm saying? So prayers up for him. I hope everything work out for him and he get his life together and he starts to get sober and he surround himself with the right people that can add value into your life. Because what's the point of having all of this money and then you got to go to jail as a result of it?